problem with. You can sleep soundly at night with those choices.
All right, and sometimes this happens in the TV, Matthew Shoemaker. I'm going to have to kind of cut us off because we were just talking about the Secretary of Defense, and it just came across Trump making his pick. So let's talk about who is actually going to be filling that role. And I want to put this up right now here in a statement saying Pete Hegseth is now the Secretary of Defense. Pete spent his entire life as a warrior for the troops and the country. Pete is a tough, smart, and true believer in America first. With Pete at the helm, America's enemies are on notice. Our military will be great again, and America will never back down. So we are just hearing this news that Pete Hegseth is now the Secretary of Defense, filling up the cabinet. Matthew, let's bring you back in. Who is this person? What do we make, and what do we make of this pick?
Yeah, this is certainly an unconventional pick. It was not on the top of these things. And, this is how the news works. This is breaking news more than anything. So with regards to the choice, I think that Peter Hegseth is going to be a phenomenal individual. He has had years of experience with regards to this sort of thing. But, that's how these newscasts work. I wish would have been 5 minutes later and we would have been able to talk about this a little bit more clearly than anything. But no, that, as you mentioned, that's how these things work.
That's how these things work. All right, Matthew Shoemaker, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate your time. Great insight as always. And in real time, that's what breaking news, that's how news happens. So thank you for breaking it all down here. Great insight as always.
Absolutely. Take it easy.
All right. Thank you so much. All right. Let's continue on here on Live and Now from Fox. An interesting kind of development there in real time, just past 7 o'clock on the East Coast about this as we are following the latest in terms of this. Pete Hegseth is named the Secretary of Defense, nominated as the Secretary of Defense. I want to put this up one more time here on Live and Now from Fox, the Fox and Friends host being named this. And let's read it more in full. A statement from the President-elect Donald J. Trump saying, "I'm honored to announce to nominate Pete Hegseth to serve in my cabinet as Secretary of Defense. Pete has spent his entire life as a warrior for the troops and the country. Pete is tough, smart, true believer in America first. With Pete at the helm, America's enemies are on notice. Our military will be great again, and America will never back down." Pete is a graduate of Princeton University, graduate degree from Harvard University. He's an Army combat veteran who did tours in Guantanamo Bay, Iraq, Afghanistan for his actions on the battlefield. He was decorated with 2 Bronze Stars as well as a Combat Infantryman's Badge. Pete has been a host at Fox News for 8 years, where he used his platform to fight for our military and veterans. Pete's recent book, quote, "The War on Warriors," spent 9 weeks on the New York Times bestsellers list, including 2 weeks at #1. The book reveals the left-wing betrayal of our warriors and how we must return to military meritocracy.